Hello everyone and welcome back to the Be Europe show. I'm Mireia and I'm from Eurodesk, and today we are here in the 10th episode of Be Europe, which will take us in a virtual journey to Italy, the boot-shaped country located in the heart of the Mediterranean Sea. As you can see, today it's a bit different. Our co-host Harry couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he's ill. You know, we are in this time of the year with the weather is changing all the time, and it's really easy to get sick. I'm personally also in a bit of, I have also a small cold, but the show must go on, never better say. So we are going to do it a bit different. I'm not going to start myself talking about Italy alone. So I decided that maybe the best option would be to welcome our guest Polyana and discuss a bit about the country with her, as she is maybe more expert than me, as she has been living there for 12 years. So let's welcome her.
Hey guys,
Hello.
I'm here. My full name is Polyana, but you can call me Polly. It's just better this way, more easy way to go. I better to introduce myself because you need to know me, at least to understand my background. I'm a very international person. I love internationality. That is what defines me. I cannot stop to talk about it. That is why I have a deep connection with Europe, because I think it's so culturally diverse. It's my opportunity to feel home. I also love different kind of topics, but mainly environmentalism and also like sustainable tech. Because, tech is fine, but sustainability gives it that spicy, I don't know how to call it in English, but, that spicy vibes, okay? Give me a reason to go. So that is why. I'm also very interested in business, but only if it's international. So again, everything in my curriculum, everything in my life is international. That's me.
That's nice. Yeah, I see you're really diverse and international. Also, I was wondering a bit about your name, Polyana. Where is the origin of this name?
The name is actually from England. I do not know what it means. Don't ask me. I don't know, but it's, like Polly, it's, I think it's a mix because it's Polly and Anna, which are two different names. And of course, Polly means multiple, and then the meaning of Anna, which I do not remember right now. But it's something about being helped by God, something like that, the meaning. It's weird meaning, but still, it's an English name, but it's very popular in Brazil. And I also have a background there. So again, I'm very, very international. I would need like 30 minutes just to explain all my roots and my descendancies. And I'm just European. Let's call me like that. I'm European. It's fine. Because I think in Europe, we're all mixed after all. So
yeah, exactly. We come all from different parts. It's all mixed in one place. But before starting with the big interview, like you already introduced yourself, and that's great. So everybody knows now who you are. But let's talk a bit about Italy, no? I'm just normally when we do this introduction with Harry, we used to talk about typical food, festivals, so things that can interest young people. So I want to ask you, what's typical Italian dishes?
Well, let's go there. Just one little background for people here. Since Italy is so fragmented in history, here in Italy we have different languages and we also have different dishes. So every kind of place in Italy is different. So what I'm going to tell you right now is not exactly what you're going to find in Naples or what you're going to find in Rome. It's specifically from Bassano del Grappa and Vicenza, which is in northern East Italy. So here we love two main things. One that is typical Italian, that is paninonto. Okay, let me try to place it that way. Basically, with this kind of sandwich, everywhere, every party you can find, festival, everything, it seems like paninonto is following you because you can find it everywhere. It's a special dishes. It's like sandwich, but you can find everything inside of it. Like they put the most crazy things. And it's called paninonto because it's usually very oily and they kind of, I don't know, it's a special way they cook the bread. So that is why paninonto, which is like bread with a lot of oil. That's the meaning.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
face it.
That's
And also
interesting.
we have another dish, which is also Portuguese, so kind of mixed, and I love it, which is bacalhau. And I found the translation with salted cod, but I do not know what that means. It's basically kind of a fish that you need to put inside of the water for 5 days because it's so salted that you cannot eat it right away. Like it's special, and everyone loves it here. Different, just to bring you different perspectives, because of course we have pizza and pasta, but it's not always about that. And I love how dishes also show how Italy is diverse, because we take some things from other European countries. So I like that. So mainly that. If you go to an Italian festival, you're gonna find panettone. If you go to a supermarket in Vicenza, you're gonna find bacalhau. So that is the point.
That's actually really nice and really interesting because I've been in Italy, but as a tourist. So, normally when you go to the restaurants, you look for pasta or pizza because you think, okay, it's the typical dishes there. But I've never heard about this. And I think there's really, maybe it have more a sense of the country. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, pizza and pasta it's Italian, 100%, everybody knows that. But this is, I think, more unique because you just will find it there. And if you are from outside, maybe you don't know about it. So I think it's really nice to point it out. And also for this diverse cuisine that you have all around the country. So maybe you can find it in your region, but not in the others. This, I don't know. But
Exactly.
yeah, I think it's really interesting. And also now the other thing that we always talk about is festivals and celebrations. So if you had to pick one festival or one celebration in Italy, what would it be?
Well, kind of complicated because Italians love to create festivals everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, is literally everywhere. Someone died, they create a festival. Someone was born, they create a festival. Everything, they create a new festival and new celebration, which is absolutely amazing, but it's also complicated because if you want to be included into society, you need to kind of participate in all the festivals. So you basically out every day. At least it works like that here. So that is cool. One of my favorite celebrations, not so popular. Again, I love to go into the very essence of every place I lived in. And I've loved this like Guerra delle Contrà, which is word of the, I don't know, let's say departments. I would call it departments, not the correct word in English. Mm-hmm. But basically, we decide to divide a city, which is called comune. And we decided to divide it into different sections. And every section needs to recall a medieval costume and compete in like very old competitions. So it's like Hunger Games thing where we all try to compete with each other and see what is let's say the best kingdom, the best section of the city. That is the main point. And I really love it. Like it works like every year we have this. So it's like culturally. Of course we have like carnival and we have other celebrations, but that is what like we Italians and me as like a little child love to go to. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I like it because it looks, I mean, I'm not gonna say that carnival is commercial, but maybe it's more well known for tourists. And this is more personal, like more regional, local people goes there. So it's more interesting. For example, if I go to Italy, I would like to go to this celebration because it's not that well known and I cannot find it anywhere else. So I think it's really nice. Thank you to give us this information. And a bit with this topic, now that we are talking about things that maybe not people that is not Italian don't know, which thing do you think people that is not Italian don't know and that it's really interesting?
Well, I think Italians are very, very focused on education. And now to bring you a little background, I understand that people usually think, oh, people that love education, love about history and stuff, you think about, oh, Chinese people, Asian people, because they study a lot and like, they're amazing. But Italy, among like the European countries, Italy is the best one because apart from being extremely focused on academical world and learning about history and culture everywhere, arts everywhere, we specifically we were born that way because in 1088 there was like how can I say it? Like the first day. No, let me try to put it in a different way. Basically, the first university in the whole world was born it was the University of Bologna. So it started there, culture, everything. We love to like bring this up every time. Every time we're talking to our European people, it's like say, oh, you know that we have this university that is very, very old. It's the first university in the world. So we like to bring this up a lot and to speak about how our high schools are good and extremely interesting. And yes, we're all about education here.
Wow, that's nice. I didn't know about this university in Bologna. I know that in Spain we have one or two that are also pretty old, but I didn't know that the oldest was in Bologna, at least in Europe. But I know one thing about Italy that for me I think it's a really interesting fact. It kind of shocked me. Well, it not really shocked me, but I think it's really nice that Italy is the country with more heritage sites in the world. I think it's amazing that says that there's a lot of history in your country. And what's your favorite thing about Italy?
I would say people. People. It's complicated to explain it, but basically they are very sincere with you. When you try to learn a new thing, again, we are very bounded with education. So when we try to learn a new thing, they always try to correct you. So you're learning something new and you make a mistake, and they're like, you made a mistake there, but they do not do this on purpose, like doing it for making you look bad or anything like that. They try to help you. So they are very sincere with you. They are clear with you. And they always try to help you. And another thing that I really love is that there is this quote which is, friends as always. So every time we try to help someone, or maybe we are struggling with some sort of, I don't know, disagreement, we try to find a solution, and then we say friends as always. So there, I mean, it's complicated. It's complicated, like amici come sempre, okay, in Italian. And so you basically say, okay, this is my point of view. This is my solution. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, we're friends as always. So I love their behavior, the way they behave with other people from outside of Europe, but also inside of Europe and in Italy as a whole. Like they're very correct, let's say.
It's kind of like saying, okay, maybe we don't agree in this, but we are friends anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that is
like
the point.
I actually really like how this section have come out. I think it's really interesting and I've learned a lot of things. But now let's move on, because otherwise we will be talking hours and hours about Italy. So let's move on a bit to the main interview. You already introduced yourself at the beginning, but what are you doing right now?
Well, tons of things. Again, I'm an eclectic person, so I go through a lot of things in my life, and I love to do like multitasking all the time. But currently, I am on my last year, senior year of high school, studying applied sciences. Again, because I love STEM and this kind of field. And I'm also doing my third year as a CEO at Untitled International, which is my organization that I founded in 2019. So those are my main focuses right now. But I'm also trying my best to do research on my own upon education and how we can like bring different methods to low-income students to impact their lives. So how we can put them, like these two fields, sustainability and education, together in order to improve society and promote human welfare. So those things.
Okay. Well, big projects, I think. And you just say right now that you did your own non-profit organization, what I think it's amazing, honestly. What can you tell us about this organization? What it is? What do you do?
Kind of complicated, because let me tell you this, at the beginning of Enter, it's called Enter International, we didn't know what Enter was. So we created an organization without knowing that we were creating an organization. We did what I call a retrograde process. So we started creating something and then decided that was an organization. To give you a more practical perspective, we handle, like, let's say, summer programs, and we handle international opportunities that brings maybe a diverse educational method, because we try to think about, okay, how can I find a way to approach youth that is not actually used in school? So we try to, maybe using Socratic methods or other methods to connect people. And we did this focusing on education. And that comes where Enter was born and why Enter was born, because basically we understood that the problem was not about like doing something for sustainability, doing something for the world, was understanding why we do that and understanding what the critical problem was. So the whole point of Enter was education. Okay, people are not conscious about the environment because they're not educated enough about it. Because scientists use hard words that are impossible to understand. So basically, we did this process of understanding how we could improve that, and we brought international programs for youth. So it started in a different way, and it took a long, actually, together, but we were able to make it. So overall, that is what we're doing right now. But it wasn't always like that, let's say.
And what is the meaning of enter?
Long process in Italian is, let's say in Italian, then I'll do the translation. Energia, nuove tecnologie. Energie, nuove tecnologie. Okay, I don't know how to translate this in Italian. Yes, ecosostenibilità e riciclo. So, energy, new technologies, eco-sustainability, and recycling in general. So it started like as these quotes and as these main goals, and then it turned to something more.
Okay, that's really interesting. And how did you create it? Like, for example, where did you find the information of, okay, I can do this? And how was the process of doing this project or this idea real?
Well, it was kind of weird. Let's say that I need to give you a bit of context because, first of all, we did not have any knowledge. Let's start there. We did not have any knowledge. We didn't know what was an organization or was an organization chart. Our professors came to us and said, okay, this year you need to do a SMART test, which is like a kind of exam on your social behaviors and on the knowledge outside of school. So we started there, and the professors only told us, okay, create something about sustainability. We're like, okay, let's do it, but how can I do it? I mean, I do not have the knowledge. So that's the point. We started with nothing, and I love this, the idea of just starting. We started with nothing. We throw ourselves out there, and I cannot say that my professors helped me. It's something, it's a bit sad because I cannot say, oh, that professor helped me. No, they only gave me the initial introduction to the world, and then we had to throw ourselves. I think the main way we learned was this process of let's say, I love to say this quote in Portuguese, which is batendo a cabeça no muro, which is literally like hitting your head to the wall. Because you keep trying and you don't understand how it works and you keep trying. So that was the beginning, like feeling, I don't know, we didn't have any kind of education. We just tried. And that is how we went through. And I think another two things that helped us a lot to understand how to create an organization was first LinkedIn. Because we love, like, people from my age do not use LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn because I think it's so full of people with interesting profiles and academic experiences. And I'm just passionate about meeting them. And, it inspires me. Let's say that. It inspires me. And there I found people that were in my situation that could tell me, oh, well, I started there too. Let me show you how it works. So it's this process, let's say, brought me to Enter. And another thing is how I learned, looking for people that were passionate like me. Enter is now international, and this is the process that we did. Having international people, I didn't know something because I don't know about things about India, let's say, okay? But I had Indian friends that could help me. So it was much more like, okay, I have a problem to solve. I have people that can solve this problem. I know 1% of a topic, but you know another 1%. So let's put things together. So that is how we try to make our way inside of the world to create Enter. But again, we were hopeless and we did not know about anything at all. It was literally like trying and searching online. I actually remember this school episode where I had to prepare a sponsorship package for an event I was creating. And I was like, how do I create a sponsorship package? So I was there, how do I pitch to a company to ask them money to fund an event? So it was much more like feeling like a child again and asking dumb questions because that is the process of learning for me. So it was
exactly.
Cool.
No, and I think it's good. I mean, it's sad that maybe you don't have a lot of help. You didn't have a lot of help from the beginning, but this also helped you a lot and you just grow a lot from the process of finding the things by yourself. And you maybe also did a lot of contacts through the LinkedIn just because of this. Maybe if at the beginning somebody would have been there saying, okay, now you have to do this, this, and this, there's a lot of things that you learn that you maybe will never learn. So you also always have to take the positive things of everything.
Exactly.
And you just said, like, when you were explaining about the process and everything, you just said that also Enter got internationally. So now
Yes.
it's Enter International. How did you do this step, and why did you decide to do it?
Well, complicated again, as always, complicated because Enter was a mess at the beginning, and we tried to make the best out of this mess. So that is why I'll tell you this. And yes, Enter got international again. Why? In LinkedIn. LinkedIn. That is the point. That is the key concept. Now, why Enter become international? Well, I love to bring up this concept of the fact that people beside you not always will support you, because they feel like it's a kind of competition. Imagine you have a friend, okay, and this friend got into Harvard, and you're like, gosh, he got into Harvard. Why me from the same background? Why did I get to the same university? Okay, so that is the concept. And we noticed that people beside us couldn't anymore maybe sustain a goal that was way too big for their expectations. So it's kind of sad to say, but from that point where we see, okay, if people here cannot help us, let's search for someone that is inspired as us in another place. So this open-minded mindset brought us to look for international people. And there we saw very interesting people. I love to say this, I love Indian people and Brazilian people, because they're so excited to start. And we were like, what do you think about this idea? And they were, yes, let's do it. And from this process, this excitement that we found in other people, we started to make it international. And what I love the most is the fact that when we have a problem right now, we're not worried anymore. Oh, okay, I know how to solve this problem in Italy. We're like, okay, I know how to solve this problem in Italy. What about you? What do you think about it? How can we apply and like solve this issue in France? So we kind of have a stronger problem-solving mentality, let's say.
It's a collaboration, helping each other.
Yes. And then pitching everything on LinkedIn, we found many people. And that is weird, because we tried to reach out to people in my school, in my city, and people were like, not sure, I don't believe it's gonna work. I had my classmates create a group chat about me and about the fact that they didn't believe Enter was actually going to be successful. And that is what I love the most. Like, keep bringing that up, the fact that people didn't believe in me, but I was actually able to find other people that were as excited as me. So that is the process. And again, LinkedIn helped me a lot. If you're a youngster watching this video right now, please download LinkedIn, because it's not going to help you on your professional life, but also on your dream career and what you want to for your future. There are many philosophical thoughts on LinkedIn, so love it.
And which are the results that you got so far with your project?
As a company, we're still growing, and I know that, I don't know, the CEO of Coca-Cola will look at me and say, oh gosh, you need to improve that. But we actually got so far. We had two main processes at Enter. We created actually Enter in 2019, but then we closed it up because of COVID and opened it up again in 2021. So our results are mainly from this last year. And during this last year, we were able to firstly connect 180 students volunteering from all over the world. We are in total 85 countries, so we're pretty proud of that. And from that, thank you. And from those volunteers, we were able to bring this forward. We firstly started with a launch event with Somos Natureza, which is a Brazilian organization. And there we created eConnected, a series of international debates on different sustainability topics. So we brought discussions and, let's say, society problems, apart from only being plastic and environmentalism, not the classical things, let's say. And from this, I think is one of the main achievements of mine, which is eSummer, inspired by the Erasmus Board and Erasmus Corps. We tried to create a similar summer program that also implemented an American style. So we put together Erasmus experiences and American style, and we created the Venetian eSummer, which is basically a summer program based in Venice. And there we brought different topics, international speakers. And it was, I mean, one of my greatest achievements because I was still 17. So I felt proud of myself for having created something new. And of course, I mean, there are little things. It's not something, oh gosh, it's great, you created something new, I don't know, I discovered water. No, it's just something simple, but for me it meant a lot because it was the time in which I finally saw something that I was working on, actually working, and I was able to tell my friends, oh gosh, you didn't believe in me, but I believed in myself, and that was enough to create something, worthy. So I was happy about it.
No, and it's a step by step. Maybe now you just pointed out before, maybe it's not perfect, but you just created, you're still really young, so you have a lot of time to improve. So I think it's great. And
Exactly.
now I'm going to move a bit because we talk a lot about the organization and I think it's amazing, but we have a lot of more questions to cover. So I'm going to move to the topic that it's the main topic of the show in general, that it's about the feeling of being European. Which do you think is the most important advantages of being European?
For me, it's diverse. It's being accepted, let's say. I suffered a lot moving from one country to another. And when I see this definition of being European, I feel included. And I'll tell you my experience. I applied to tons of Eurodesk opportunities. And every time I apply, they did not ask me for one nationality. When I'm in Italy, when I'm in Portugal, in other countries, they ask, what is your nationality? And I'm like, okay, this one. The end. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you apply to a Eurodesk opportunity, you're like, okay, this is my first nationality, this is my second, this is my third, and you go on. There's no limit, and that is fine. So I think it's inclusivity from the European world. When you are European, you're not anymore from just one country, but you're from a community with shared goals, shared values, but most of all, like shared objectives. Okay, and I love to say that we Europeans, we're so culturally diverse, but at the same time, we have these kind of little adjectives that applies to everyone, like being assertive, being like welcoming, and being innovative. I think innovative. I don't know how to speak in English today, but still, there are some adjectives that are common to all Europeans, and I think that is the advantage for me of being European, not having to keep defining myself with just one nationality, leaving behind the other one, but say I'm European and including all of them and all the experience that I lived here. Through Erasmus, but also through, travel, trips, and in the places that I've lived in.
And apart from this advantage, what does it mean for you to be a European?
Again, always bounded. Again, I'm very international and I'm proud of it. For me, being European means leaving behind the feeling of belonging to accept the feeling of being. Like I mentioned to you, we are I do not say anymore, I'm Italian. I know that everyone is proud of each nationality and it's fine. Okay, everyone have its own culture and it's fine to say I'm Italian, I'm Portuguese, I'm French. Okay, cool. But I like to see it as burning the walls of segregation among each nationality, and then let's say eliminating the concept of belonging. I do not belong anymore to Italy because it's not about Italy being, against every country in Europe. It's about being one country in Europe. Okay, so it's about the essence that we bring with us. So being, again, assertive, being international, being united, that is the concept. Again, leaving behind belonging to accept a multiculturality and a national fluidity, let's say, of citizenship and of diverse languages. Because, again, English is a good word, like a good language. We can communicate with God and we can share common experiences. And I love that.
This is how you see Europe, but what do you think Italian young people think about Europe or being European?
Well, I think they're extremely positive about it. We had the Italian elections a bit time ago, and I saw that people were voting, like youngsters were voting more on people that were supporting Europe. So we definitely see positively Europe. And again, from a practical point of view, Europe was always here to help us economically speaking during COVID and during other financial crises. So it was a support for us. So we definitely see that positively. Now, speaking about youth, it's a great opportunity. Like we have let me try to go back a bit. Think about it from a youngster point of view. Let's say I'm 16, I'm 18 right now, but let's imagine I'm 16. I can travel for free and learn about other cultures and learn about other topics without it being like rough and without it being like heavy. Because it's not like school or like having to learn something. We're just absorbing information. And so it's a great perspective. I love it. Now, what I think could be improved is because I cannot tell you precisely what Italians think about it, because there is one issue. The fact there is still problem in communicating about the Eurodesk opportunities and the European opportunities to youth. Now, I know the Eurodesk has implemented the Young Multiplier program, and it's working pretty well, but I still see people in my school that are not able to know what is Eurodesk. Today, I was mentioning to my professor, I told him, oh, yes, today I'm in school, no, but I have to do an interview for Eurodesk. And he was like, what is Eurodesk? I mean, if the professors that should know about Europe and about politics don't know about Eurodesk, why we youth should know about it? So again, we need still to improve this communication process. But again, we see it positively. It's amazing. It's something I'm excited about, and it's quite addictive actually. Because when you start to think about Eurodesk, I love to do it every day. I open up how was it called? I think it was Eurodesk Finder. It's a part of
Opportunity Finder.
Right? And I love to look there and say, oh, what opportunities can I find today?
Yeah.
And I just love it. Again, and the work done by many other local organizations like Bassano Giovane and other, let's say, Eurodesk points are going pretty fine. Because when you do an internship there, or when you find for the first time Eurodesk, you're like, okay, let me try again. And I love it. I love it. Again, it's something that gives you opportunity to grow as a person. And again, since I love so much education, you learn also new concepts from an academic perspective. So definitely positive, but again, we need to improve a bit more communication.
Yes, exactly. Like this is something that we really work on it, and also all the organizations working and offering opportunities for youth. Sometimes it's difficult to make the information come to you. That's why this program, for example, this show, it's happening because of that. So we talk directly with youth, we know their opportunities, and sometimes maybe if something comes from a other young person instead of an adult, you listen more to it because it's somebody of your age and maybe understands you better. And moving a bit on, you are really interested in the topic of sustainability. And I was wondering, how did you start to be aware and became so interested about this topic?
Well, I wouldn't say it was Enter, because I sometimes think, oh, Enter brought me towards sustainability. But apart from Enter, I think it's school. Again, I'm really bounded with education. I'm Italian. It's part of me. And I think education has a deep impact on people. And I had this professor. My professor loves to say that. It's not professor, it's teacher. Still, yeah. I don't care. English. I had this teacher, this arts teacher, that she was like, I didn't want to go to a school trip. And she was like, don't worry about it. Just come. I'll show you. This is part of you. And I couldn't understand, what do you mean this is part of me? And literally, like, arts is part of Italy. And she showed me how arts, so my Italianness could bound to sustainability. I was like, are you sure? And she showed me, basically, this museum called the Biennale of Venice, which is pretty famous, actually. And there was different kinds of arts bounded with sustainability. So that was my first approach, and wondering how sustainability could actually match up with different fields. And I was like, how can sustainability be together with arts? It doesn't make any sense, but it made. And then there, for example, I love to see how humans can approach nature. And so there were different forms of art. For example, Lufa, it's called literally Lufa. I do not know about the author, but it's basically a house made out of this weird plant that is made with microbiotics. I don't know how to say that in English, but it's basically some kind of substance that can like improve humans' life. So you see that a way to bring sustainability, so a way to use natural material not to damage the environment, ended up helping the human being in their health. So this, let's say, the fact that sustainability can be attached to different fields, that is what moved me first. And then, of course, the fact that I can literally bound everything to sustainability. Like, I can bound it to business because I love business. I can bound it to education. And since I'm a multicultural people and I love different topics, that was like my first approach and what brought me to this topic. Like, I love to be changing topics and changing curiosity. So
we can say that everything started with arts as a good Italian.
Yes.
And since then, what have you learned since then?
I learned a lot, but I mostly from arts, I went through tech. So I learned about how sustainability can be, again, bounded to tech. Because as a woman, I feel this need to be in STEM every time, because, STEM fields are usually more masculine. They're not masculine. It's usually dominated by males because they want to. Okay, so it started as, okay, let me find a way to embrace my, let's say, my femininity and show how I am woman in STEM. It started there. And then I said, well, but I also like sustainability. Let's bond them together. And that is where everything was born, let's say. And another thing that I learned is that there are many, many ways to be bounded to sustainability. Again, it's complicated to explain it. I keep going into that topic. Again, I learned a lot about how we can live our lives without worrying about sustainability. Now, this might sound crazy, but it's because sustainability is actually a concept that you can apply everywhere. Then you can be more, you can bring forward your life without worrying about that. Okay? So this is what I learned. I learned that we can think, oh, okay, let me just apply this sustainability concept and live my life. You just apply it and go away. Okay? So you just absorb the concepts. This is what I learned, basically. So absorb the concept without worrying too much about it. Like walking through, okay, this is not sustainable, let me switch up. And I tried it. And I basically learned more about it. And I also learned about businesses because I love it. There is an amazing example, AMF, that is still able to bring forward production. It's a metal and fashion production without being fast fashion. So I learned different concepts about businesses, about tax. So it was great to see how many things could bound together with this subject. Again, there is no one lesson that I learned. There is many concepts and many values that I absorbed, and now I'm bringing forward to youth.
Okay, and if you have to say one thing that it should really change right now in this world and focus on sustainability, what would this be?
I think it's youth empowerment. Now, why youth empowerment? We youth are very concerned about sustainability because it's part of our lives. It's part of our future, because maybe older generation will not be here, but we will be here suffering with the consequences of environmentalism. So I would say that one concept that should be brought forward is to acknowledge, let's say, youth, young leaders in sustainability. Because most times we listen to older generations speak about sustainability and we're like, oh, okay, that's fine. It's right. We need to implement this norm on economics. Okay, but when youth points out the problem of sustainability, it looks like we're creating a mess. No, that's too much. That's exaggerated. So I would say that we need first to start acknowledging youth and young leaders, because coming from different backgrounds and having like a dual perspective, mostly for, let's say, young adults. So we're between teenagers and actual adults. We can connect these two words and bring a new problem solving. Now, this problem solving can only be applied if young adults are ready to listen to us. So again, there is this problem, and I'm very, very happy that Europe as a whole is listening to youth and asking us to give them our opinion. So it begins there. Again, I would say that, but also implementation of sustainability and education in schools. Italy is very concerned about sustainability, and we keep bringing this topic up. But I think maybe showing education in a different manner. This is what Enter is doing, but I would actually love to have a program that could implement like an amount of hours dedicated to sustainability, not seen as biology or to let's recycle plastic, but seen as, okay, you are young leaders, you are young minds ready to change the world. This is how you can do it. You love tech, you can do it. You can improve the world. It's not about saving Earth. Sometimes it's difficult for us because we think, I don't want to save Earth. I don't care about that. Okay, fine. Think about your passion. You love tech, you can apply it. You love business, you can apply it. It's actually not a matter of thinking about sustainability. It's just a matter of living a certain lifestyle to improve your life and the life of the people you love. So that concept, I would like to, communicate it better through school. Still need implementation.
It's really important what you said. Also, like, really important to hear young people, because at the end, who will live in this planet, it will be us. In the future, we will live in this. So it's really important to hear what we have to say. And I think this is the main goal of this year too, because this is the European Year of Youth. And during all the year have been events and consulting to young people to know their opinion. And I hope that this keep going, because at the end, we are the future. So
Exactly.
Our opinion, it really, really matters. And also start for education. So from the beginning at school, everybody knows everything. Sustainability, everybody have clear what it is. And I think it's really, really important. But now I'm going to move a bit. You said before that you really like a lot to explore our opportunity finders of Eurodesk and see all the offers that you can apply for. But if I'm not wrong, you didn't really apply to any because you were too young for it. Which kind of opportunities are you interested, or you find more interesting for you?
I think two kinds of opportunities. Opportunity that brings me towards politics and economics, because it's my field. I love it. And I love to be practical and change things up. And also discovery opportunities, let's say. Regarding parliament, I love internships. They have to do with European Parliament or the UN. I also loved opportunities where I could speak to actual representative of the European Parliament. And I had this opportunity. I was I don't know, how can I say it? Basically, it was 1 week before my 18th birthday. And I wanted to apply to this opportunity to discuss together with an European Parliament member about education. And you can see I love education again. And I wanted to speak about it. And my counselor from Eurodesk said, why don't you apply? And then they called me, they actually called me and said, don't you participate? I'm like, I'm 1 week early and I couldn't attend. So that is something that actually hurts me a bit. The fact that we have many opportunities, but the youth that should be interested in that cannot be actually interested because it's too young. So I'm always this person that wants to run after opportunities, and I couldn't at that age. But now I can. Now I can run after opportunities. And apart from running after opportunities, again, internships and, for example, Discover EU, I also have the chance to implement opportunities because there are two ways to implement opportunities. The first one, because I'm the CEO of Enter, so I can create Erasmus opportunities, and that's fine. I can partner with all organizations, but also I can be one of the mentors, because we know that when you are over 18, you can also be a leader of a little Erasmus group. So that is another way for me to participate and attend in a leading position. So those two ways, I love them. It shows how I behave, and it's very much connected to my personality. So I love being 18 finally, and I hope in the future having to being able to actually be inside of Eurodesk to create more opportunity for 16-year-old and 17-year-old. And actually, let me just tell you, let's send this message to organizations, to everyone that creates opportunities for people that are under 18. I love you, because you were my way to find opportunities out there. Literally, I went through Facebook groups and organizations looking for opportunities that could suit me. And I didn't, because, I was too young yet, but I'm happy to be 18 now. And let's explore the world, because there are many things, many opportunities, including with deadline today. So if you're willing to do a little challenge and apply in 2 milliseconds, you can still. I think there are 5 or 6 opportunities that are about to end today. So run. Run to your
That's
desk.
nice to nice to do promotion. Actually, now in soon, I think it's in 10 days, something like this, it will open the call for Discovery You, and all people from 18 years old can apply.
I'll
So
be
you
there.
can get free tickets to travel by train from Europe. So yeah, don't miss it, Discovery You.
No, I need to
And
win. I need to win that. I will apply and I'll find a way to be there.
yes, you have to try. That's for sure. And then we will see. Otherwise, there's always more opportunities like the volunteering with the European Solidarity Corps. It's full of opportunities you already know. I think you are an expert of this.
Another thing. There are people who pay to study 1 year abroad. Well, you can do Erasmus, or you can do like the Solidarity Corps. Like you can actually be living in another country and being paid for it, or like even like being a community and you just need to pay for food, for example. And why are people paying for external opportunities if you have these opportunities in front of you? So this is what I think about. And definitely after high school, I'll be joining Erasmus directly and going there.
And now that you said after high school, I just wanted to know, I'm really curious to know, what are your plans for future?
Well, let's say for the immediate future, of course, keep and continuing to create new Erasmus experiences. We are ready to with Enter creating new Erasmus opportunities. So wait for my application for the European funds for Erasmus, because I'll be there. And second of all, let's say my main goals for this year and for the next years to come is to grow culturally, but also to understand the voice of youth. And from this, one of my main goals is become Ministry of Education. So I'll hope to get there. A long process to go, but through Eurodesk and through other opportunities, I'm learning more. And I think this year will be great to see how Europe actually behaves and what attitude I need to apply to my personality. Because of course I need to improve some things, and what attitudes, positive attitudes, I can bring from Europe to my life and be the person that people will need me for. So technically it's a long project, but I can start already. Of course, being Ministry of Education, long time to go, but I can start this year and I can start planning and seeing and doing statistical researches, and I'll be doing that, understanding how Europe wants me to behave and how I can impact positively people.
So again, I wish you all the best. Yes, as you said, it's a long process, but step by step, everything, it's possible. Yes. And now I'm going to move to the last question, because we've really exceeded the time, I think, but it was really interesting, all the conversation, so I couldn't stop. But this is a question that we ask to everybody, and we finish all the shows with the same question. That is, maybe do you have a final message or an advice for the young people watching this interview?
I will say embrace diversity and changes. Most times we are very fixed-minded and we're like, no, I'm going to do this and this other thing is not possible. Embrace the willing and how can you say it? Embrace your want to grow, okay? Through Eurodesk, through other opportunity, it doesn't matter. Embrace this necessity that you feel inside of your heart to grow as a person, to help other people, to reach your dreams. That is the point. And another message that I would like to tell them is if you hadn't had the wish, you wouldn't have the opportunity. And if you didn't have the opportunity, you wouldn't have, the knowledge to do it. So even if you don't have the knowledge to do it, but you have a wish and you might have an opportunity, seek that opportunity, find it, or create one and go through your dreams. I know this might sound cliche, but it is what worked for me. I always think, oh, maybe I will not be accepted into this Eurodesk opportunity or into this job chance. I don't care. Just throw yourself there, okay? It's literally about chances. You need to throw yourself. This application for Big Europe, I did it it was on the 1st of January of 2020. So I was like, let's give it a try. Let's see if they accept me. And I got accepted. Okay, and I'm here today to tell you more information about Italy. Now, again, be open to new things. Try it. And same for Eurodesk, for Erasmus. Try it. It's scary. It is, but you need to try. Like, it is complicated to transmit and to communicate what I want to tell. But it's literally, if you are here, I want to push you there. Like, push you to the opportunity. Just go. Okay, there is no, there is no more segregation, not those that were at the beginning of Europe. You can actually go there and try it out. Nobody's going to judge you. And if they judge you, they will forget about it. So just try it and go ahead. Go
Great
ahead.
final message. Yes. Actually, that's what I always say to my friends. But they say, oh, I think it's really difficult. I'm not going to get it. It's like, just try. Because, maybe it's really difficult and you're not going to get it at the end. But if you don't try, you're not going to get it for sure. So just give it a try. Exactly.
One last thing, a quote that I would like to tell people. An entrepreneur is someone that builds a plane while he's falling. Okay? Be able to build that plane, throw yourself, and then you're going to figure out how it's going to happen, how are you going to make it. Just throw yourself. All right? Be an entrepreneur. That's cool.
Nice quote. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for being part of this interview.
It was a pleasure.
And to all of you, see you in the next episode.